And good morning to the Real Monica Adams Show. How you doing this morning? How's the weather by you, by the way? So we made the decision to do the show from home to keep everybody safe. I didn't want Jenny, Gabriel with JG Optimal Wellness, or Zach Kimball, our director, to be driving if there was going to be a slushy mess out there, which some were predicting. We'll find out what our aspiring meteorologist, Beckett Moore, has to say about that coming up in just a second as we do What the Weather. If you are new to the show, good morning. I'm your host, and we are now officially into our third year. Yay, team. Our third year started in March of 2023. So 3 years in and not stopping anytime soon. We are super excited. Now, we like to take care of you on many levels. And on Mondays, we do medical and motivation. We're going to talk about women's health today. Again, Jenny is our guest. And if you haven't seen her, she's phenomenal. So she'll be on with us coming up shortly. Good morning, by the way. As you sign on, feel free to interact with us, make any comments, tell us what you did over the weekend. Let us know where you're watching from. We love to be as interactive with you as possible. We've got some news you can use coming up as well. And one of the biggest has to do with the weather aspect. Again, we've been wanting to know, do we still have winter weather in our area? How is it going to impact us, et cetera, across the scene? Some people were talking about getting snow. Some people were talking about maybe getting some sleet, rain. Was there going to be ice? Those are all the things that we were a little bit worried about this morning as we headed into the morning commute. So let's figure out what the week is going to look like in a segment we call What the Weather.
Good morning from St. Louis, Missouri.
And as you can see with our aspiring meteorologist, good morning, Beckett.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. You're back from Memphis, right?
Yes, I am.
Did you get back safely yesterday?
Yes, we got back before all this inclement weather last night.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, if you ran into any of it. So when did it start falling?
Well, it started probably around 8 o'clock last night. That's when we saw some rain and some sleet, graupel, snow move into the area, and it ended earlier this morning. But fortunately, the roads were a little bit too warm for anything to stick on them. So overall, throughout the area, we're just looking at slick, wet roads like you would see on a rainy day.
Oh, that's fantastic. And again, we evidently could have gone into the studio, but this was all about keeping people safe. I think the biggest problem was the fact that it was being, a lot of the predictions were that it was going to be overnight. What was going to happen between 10 p.m. and 3 a.m., where we're going to have slick surfaces. I know they were talking about the possibility of some snow to the north of us. Did that happen at all, or did that just kind of go away?
Yeah, there was some snow to the north of us, up towards Hannibal, Pike counties, up to the north of the St. Louis area. That's where we saw some more accumulating snow. They maybe got 1 to 3 inches there.
Okay, so if you are traveling then, you need to know about that you could run into that. But our immediate area, did we get even any sleet?
We did get sleet, and some snow was mixing in last night around 10 p.m. when I checked, but that is all melted by now.
Okay, again, and it's a good thing that the ground temperatures were warm enough that it kept it off of it. I think a lot of the predictions were that even if it did fall, that it would be on the grassy surfaces, some of the elevated surfaces. What is the temperature right now?
Yeah, right now it's around 35 degrees.
Okay, so we're still
So,
above that. All right, well, Beckett, I'm glad you're back safely. So let us know if we are expecting anything else throughout the rest of the week that we need to be concerned about.
yeah, so looking at the current conditions right now, cloudy skies, 35 degrees, dew point as at 31 as we have seen that precipitation across the region. But again, that has moved out. Our sunset tonight almost at 6 o'clock. We do have some breezy winds as well out of the east, 12 mile per hour sustained right now. Heading into this afternoon, 43 degrees as our high, continuing with those overcast skies, so pretty chilly, damp day today. 39 degrees tomorrow for the low in the morning. By Tuesday for tomorrow, 61 degrees is your high, 90% chance of rain. Wednesday, 90% chance of rain as well. And if you keep looking at this graphic, we do have a very wet week ahead. By Friday, 78 degrees, really warming up for Friday. We could have some storms mixing in with all these days. So thunderstorms, especially Wednesday through Saturday, that's when we're looking at the potential for some thunderstorms, although severe thunderstorms at this point are unlikely. And by Sunday, finally, that rain does get out of here, but we do have a very wet week ahead. This is going to be good, though, because we are in drought conditions.
Absolutely. Now, I heard somebody the other day say something about the possibility of, depending on how much we get, that we could be into a flooding issue. But are you hearing that as well?
I've not heard that, but that is possible if we do get training of heavy rain over the area.
Okay, but oh my gosh, I almost put my glasses on. I was like, does that say 78 or 73? And you said it right on 78.
I know.
Well, we are into March. So happy March, my friend.
Happy March. Yes.
Okay, well, everybody, again, you know you need to get the umbrella all week long. Have a beautiful week, and we'll talk to you again on Friday.
Sounds good. You too.
All right, everybody, that is Beckett Moore. If you're new to the show and we are into our third year and you're like, wow, I love this. Yes, we give you all the things that you need to start your day. That does not include negative news because I don't think that serves you. I see you all. Good morning. One fell swoop. Good morning to you all. And thank you for the happy third anniversary. Let's get into some news you can use. And we're actually going to stay in the weather aspect. When can we see the next blood red moon? Well, here you go. Listen up. It will soon grace the skies for you. The spectacle will be visible tomorrow morning from North America, Central America, and the western part of South America. Australia and Eastern Asia can catch it tomorrow night. Partial stages of the eclipse with small bites taken out of the moon can be seen from Central Asia, and much of South America, Africa, and Europe will then be shut out. Solar and lunar eclipses happen due to a precise alignment of the sun, the moon, and the earth, and they are between 4 and 7 a year, according to NASA. They tend to follow each other, taking advantage of the sweet spot in the celestial body's orbit. So tomorrow's total eclipse of the moon comes 2 weeks after a ring of fire solar eclipse that dazzled people and penguins, by the way, in Antarctica. I always am fascinated by these. What about you? Again, it'll be kind of a reddish orange orb. Using a forecasting app or any online calendar to look up the exact timing for your area. Venture outside a few times to see the shadow from Earth darken the moon, and again, eventually reveal that reddish orange orb. So check out the apps. And again, I know people watch from all over, so see when it might be visible in your area. All right, a boil water in advisory. Now we're in St. Louis, Missouri, so if you're outside of our area, I like to take care of those that took care of me for the last 30 years in TV and radio. And for this, it's parts of Maryland Heights and Bridgeton and Earth City. You went under a boil advisory Saturday afternoon. It came into effect at 3 p.m. Missouri American Water said it had sent notifications to the customers affected. It followed a water main break that was expected to be repaired within about a 24-hour time period. However, you could be traveling out today, still could be impacted by that. The advisory is estimated to last until 3:45 this afternoon, and affected customers will receive updates according to American Water. So you should be getting an update with however they interact with you. I was really sad to see this, an inspiration to millions. Music legend Neil Sedaka has passed away at the age of 86. Loved ones confirmed the Grammy-nominated musician's death on Friday. They said, quote, "Our family's devastated by the sudden passing of our beloved husband, father, grandfather." Variety shared the family statement saying, "A true rock and roll legend, an inspiration to millions. Most importantly, at least to those who were lucky enough to know him, an incredible human being who will be deeply missed." So you know what? Do me a favor. Let's honor him. Start dropping in your favorite Neil Sedaka song. For me, it's "Laughter in the Rain," and it's kind of fitting on today, right? Or "Breaking Up is Hard to Do." The Brooklyn native scored several number one hits on the Billboard Hot 100 during his peak years, which would be 1960s and 1970s. And TMZ actually reported earlier on Friday that Sedaka wasn't feeling well, was taken to an area hospital, and unfortunately died. He is survived by his wife and the couple's 2 children. Just every time I saw him, he always had this incredible glow about him. Don't you agree with that? Just wonderful smile. So rest in peace. All right, we've got a couple of recalls we want to tell you about. First one is a steam cleaner sold at Walmart, Amazon, and other areas. More than 600,000, by the way. They've been recalled after several people were injured using the product. According to the notice, the Dupre Neat Steam Cleaner's boiler can rupture if it's overfilled, if it's corroded, or if the pressure release valve malfunctions, which will pose a risk of burns or even serious injury to users or bystanders. The cleaners come with a white base connected to a black hose. They were sold at Dupre.com and in stores and online at Home Depot, Lowe's, Macy's, Walmart, Amazon, and other retailers nationwide from April of 18 through December of 2025 for about $150. 15 reports so far of the boiler rupturing, and including 4 reports of burns, bruises, lacerations, and even one person with a broken wrist. So you will need the batch code for the eligibility for the recall. So I'm going to take and put this entire story in the comment section so that if you have it at home or if you know someone that does, that you know exactly what to do with that. Okay, the other recall has to do with all of us transitioning and getting ready when the weather stops, at least, to get out and grill again. So if you have a Weber grill brush, listen up, more than 3.2 million have been recalled after people accidentally ingested bristles. Weber said the small wire bristles can detach from the brushes and stick to the grill or the food, and it can be swallowed, leading to serious internal injuries that could require surgery. At least 4 people have reported swallowing them already and have sought medical treatment. The recall involves the metal wire bristle grill brushes with plastic or bamboo handles measuring between 12 and 21 inches long. Now, they were sold at Lowe's and Home Depot, Ace Hardware, Target, and online at Amazon and Weber.com. If you have any of these, stop using them immediately. Contact Weber for a cold cleaning nylon bristle grill brush replacement. I've always been worried about that. I've said this before, and I think we had an old one that I tossed away right away because I'm like, can't these get into our food? What's that in our chicken? Well, it's a wire bristle. That's not good. All right, you don't want them in your burgers either. Burger King has announced changes. In fact, I love when you've got restaurants or even businesses listening to what you want. Evidently, there were some complaints. The chain said the Whopper will now come on a premium bun, having creamier mayonnaise, and be served in a clamshell box instead of paper wrapping. Yeah, I guess you all didn't like it. You wanted to go bougie. The changes come after years of complaints about smashed burgers that fell apart. According to the burger chain, the revamped burger is rolling out this week to more than 7,000 restaurants nationwide. They said it was careful not to go too far and offend the Whopper fanatics. The beef patty remains the same. The upgraded burger will cost franchisees more, but Burger King is urging them not to raise prices. Instead, the chain is betting the updates will bring the customers back. Yes, so if you are a fan of the Whopper, and feel free to say, yes, I'm a big Whopper fan, and I'm happy that Burger King is listening to me. There you go. You should see those very soon. We go from burgers to pizza, and this is unfortunate news. Papa John's closing hundreds of locations after weak sales. They said about 300 underperforming North American locations will shut down by the end of next year, and about 200 of those closures are expected this year. Executives said the affected stores are not meeting brand expectations, or they lack a clear path to profitability. The company is also cutting about 7% of its corporate workforce. Papa John's, by the way, operated about 3,500 locations at the end of last year. And it doesn't matter whether it is a local, obviously, I'm very big on supporting local, but a national chain or a local chain. I hate to hear when they have to close their doors. Okay, it happened again, folks. Remember, we had the woman on whose son did this not too long ago. A second kid has gotten stuck in a Webster Groves claw machine. Can you believe this? In the exact same area. What the heck is happening in Webster Groves? What's in the water there, kids? Why are you climbing inside of the machines? Do you remember? It was just a few weeks ago when it was actually Monica Brand's sister-in-law, I believe. Monica from Apricot Lane Boutique in O'Fallon. She's like, Monica, I've got the craziest story for you. Well, here it is. It happened again, and not in another state, but literally right here in our area. Glad the kid is okay. All right, how about the Blues pulling out another win? The final 3-1 against the Minnesota Wild. You gotta love it. It's the Blues in action against the Kraken coming up on Wednesday at 9 p.m. That'll be a busy one. The Blues are on the road as the Billikens have their final game of the season on Wednesday. I'm super excited. I am finally going to a Billikens game. And today it's National Banana Cream Day, National Old Stuff Day, and it is National Read Across America Day, Dr. Seuss Day. Okay, get those kids reading. You read with them as well. Nothing better than a good book on a rainy day, right? All right, let me look at you real quick. Laughter in the Rain and Bad Blood was his #1 hits on Billboard. He wrote a lot of songs for other artists too. You bet, Rose. Janet, good morning. Happy 3rd anniversary. Just tuned in. Sad news about Papa John's. I know. Well, good morning to you. Hope you're having a great start to your day as well. Neil always liked the Bee Gees. Julie says, Calendar Girl, Laughing in the Rain. Love Neil Sedaka's great music. Sean, thank you for the happy anniversary. Stephanie, good morning. Happy 3rd anniversary blues. Yep. Yep. You spoiled it. Evidently, they could have read that already. Good morning, Luann. Joe, thank you so much. And to all of you, good morning across the board. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Hello, Matt. I see you. I see you, everybody. So your comments, as soon as they come in, we try to jump on them right away. If not, before the show wraps up. Excited to bring you some health news today, okay? Medical Monday, Motivation Monday, Menopause Monday, JG Optimal Wellness. That is our guest today, Jenny Gabriel, a nutritional therapy practitioner. We're going to talk about the holistic side of it all. Hello, Lisa, and hello, Julie. I see you. All right, Jenny will be our guest when we return.
What if you could start your day feeling loose, relaxed, and ready? Deep hydrotherapy right in your backyard. No commute, no appointments, just warmth, relief whenever you need it. Sore muscles recover faster, tight joints loosen up, tension you carry all day, gone. Relax with your family or friends, or work out with our Michael Phelps Edition Swim Spas. Worried about maintenance? We have factory-trained service nearby whenever you need it. Plus, we're here for you long-term if you have any questions or need to refill supplies. You can even test spas at our showrooms.
All right, we got about 15 seconds.
A+ rated, locally owned for 20 years. We put the ah in spa.
All right, coming back in.
And there she is. Isn't she a cutie? Jenny Gabriel, nutritional therapy practitioner, is our guest today with JG Optimal Wellness. And we'll give you all the information of how you can find her. I really love today's topic from a holistic mindset. So Jenny Gabriel, Jenny at jgoptimalwellness.com. Her website is JG Optimal Wellness, and you can find her on social media at JG Optimal Wellness. I hope you're already following her. And if you're not, be sure to do so today. Okay, let's head into saying good morning. Good morning, Jenny. How are you?
Good morning, friends. I'm doing great.
Look at the hearts. I love it. Okay, how's the weather by you? Because we were saying, you're pretty far out west.
Yeah. So we just had some snow mixed with rain at the very beginning of it. There's nothing out there now. There's
Fantastic.
you would never guess it did anything.
Well, I'm sorry we couldn't give a hug to each other in person, but I wanted to keep you
Virtual.
safe.
Virtual.
Yes, here it is. I wanted to keep you safe. I wanted to keep Zach safe, and obviously didn't know what was happening. Joe, thank you for letting me know that. That's crazy. Why are we in a commercial? I don't know. Thank you, though. Let's see. It's a good thing she wasn't talking about us. I don't talk about you. I love you all. We'll make sure that that's taken out of there. All right. Well, Jenny, first of all, how was your weekend?
Good. It was quiet.
Anything fun?
No.
Did you hang in the house? Or did you get out and enjoy the weather?
Yeah, we were out. We got out and about, did our thing, our errands and all that good stuff, but no real plans.
No, we took mom to church yesterday. Mom's staying with us for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Went to brunch, and I was like, okay, let's get out and enjoy this weather now. I took her to the park. I haven't put that reel together yet, but took her to the park, and my brother was like, don't overdo it. Hey, I took her to Mastodon Park. So if you all know that it's kind of like, there's some gravel in there. And he's like, I don't think her walker rolls very well. And I'm like, I had her, right? I had the belt on her. She's good. I just want to get some vitamin D for mom instead of just laying on the couch, right?
It was so nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Fitting.
Okay. Carla, let's say good morning. Went to Trattoria Giuseppe over the weekend. Food was fabulous. Well, thank you. We had that on the Foodie Friday. Loved watching it last week. Yeah, there were, I think, 3,500 people seen that already. So, Carla, thank you for supporting. We always say support those that support us, and that goes right along line with Jenny. So, for all of you that are struggling with your health from your nutrition standpoint, or with all of these menopause symptoms, this is where you get to ask her. This is Ask the Expert, okay? So, as she's on with us, don't just sit there quietly and feel like you're alone. I just want you to understand that there's an entire community here that is here to help you, and she's the expert. So from a holistic standpoint, we're going to talk about it today. Yeah, you can scan that, by the way, to join the Facebook group. It's Menopause Belly Secrets, and she can help you. Obviously, you can also jump into her Facebook group or get a free assessment call, and that's what I really want you to do. Let her do that one-on-one, because it's not cookie cutter. Everybody is very individualized with this. So Jenny, that you and I both share this. We like to attack from the health standpoint, from a holistic mindset, from a maybe, people look at the Western and Eastern culture pairing together. That's, you and I are both very, very big on that. But from a holistic standpoint today, the stress aspect mixed in with all their hormones, out of whack doesn't help, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, like menopause, it's really not about a willpower thing. And I think that's the one thing I want to make sure women understand. It's not about willpower. It's about hormones. It's about stress. It's about, metabolic system and how it's responding to the things that we're doing or the things that we've done over the years. And if we keep like trying to put ourselves in this box of these like 30-year-old diet strategies in a 50-year-old body that's got, some physiology stuff that's starting to cause some issues, then we're going to go down a road and a path that we don't want to go down. So we
Absolutely.
really need to like zoom out and look at this from a very much more holistic standpoint. We have been so trained to think about it as a calorie in, calorie out thing, and it's way deeper than that.
Well, you're right.
Um,
Where do you think that mindset came from, Jenny? Because that is
I think
decades
social
old.
media. I think, well, not just that. I think that's just what we've always heard. I mean, you go to the doctor, that's what you've always heard. That's been the response that we would get, right? That's what we were taught. What you don't know, what you don't know, you don't know.
Right.
And if you don't ask the questions, then you don't know.
Yeah.
But these metabolic conditions have always been there.
Yeah.
These
There's
are
so
things.
much. Don't you understand that people are so, and this is why I bring Jenny on for so many reasons, but it is to break through all the information. And there's so much flying at us every single day on the radio, on billboards, on TV, in podcasts. And you try to decipher through, well, who can I trust? Because you're right. Doctors have
Mhm.
forever said, hey, it's all about those calories you're taking in. No one's ever
Yeah.
talking about genetics and stress and everything else that plays into it.
There's so many more pieces to the puzzle, and not making that sound complicated. It's just like, and what we're going to get into today is talking about those women specifically that are doing all of the things and they're exercising, they're, doing the nutritional thing, and they continue to gain weight or the scale doesn't move.
Yeah, and I tell
Or,
you what, we never want to exclude men. I know a lot of times we
oh,
talk
absolutely
about,
not,
yeah.
because they're
So
in the same boat.
yes, you are. So I want you to understand that.
Yeah.
So while we talk about menopause, we've mentioned in the past that you guys have andropause, and it depends on the age that you start to
Mhm.
experience the same thing. And you're like, why do I have
Mhm.
handlebars? Why does my stomach out here? Is it
Yeah.
just something I have to be used to? You've probably been told the same thing, guys. Oh, it's just what happens when you age. And you've just been given
Mhm.
this bad bill of goods. It's not true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly right. And those are, I mean, we definitely, it's not a woman or a man thing, just like you said. I mean, it both impacts male and female, and especially when they're going through a transition, men andropause, women menopause, we start to see these other factors start to come into play. And it's from years, over years of things that we haven't done or we haven't known to do, from, removing toxicity and those types of things from our environment. Again, don't let that freak you out. You can't live in a bubble, but it's like just making some small changes to have a larger impact
Absolutely.
down the road.
Absolutely. Again, if you're just tuning in, welcome to all of you. And as I mentioned throughout the show, don't sit there quiet. I want to see what your questions are. Again, you've got Jenny on, so please say, hey, you know what? I've been dealing with this. And when you speak up, others are like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that because I feel the same way. Rose said, I've been on my journey and I needed a lift. And out of nowhere on my feed was stability is first, weight loss is second. And I needed to hear that. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Well, today we're going to start with this, saying that if you've been trying to diet and diet and diet, and you're like, oh, again, I think it's very powerful that Jenny said, if you keep hearing people say to you, it's a willpower thing. Why are you overweight? It's a willpower thing, right? Holistic weight loss and menopause, why the dieting stops working.
Yep.
And that's the thing that gets people so frustrated because they're like, well, I'm dieting. I'm restricting my calories. Why isn't it working, Jenny?
Well, it's because the stress on the body. Again, we're not thinking about the hormones. We're not talking about the stress, as I mentioned. We're not talking about the metabolic situations that's happening. And when we lose sight of that, we stick our body in more of a hold on to it, keep the reserves because it's a scarcity mindset that ends up setting in for the body itself internally, especially when we get into that like restrictive mode. And so, again, what have we always been taught is restrict and exercise more. And those are the two main things that will backfire huge in
Well,
this transition for
so
women.
so everybody, I can feel it in our audience right now. They're like, okay, well then wait a minute. I need to know what are the answers. Then what do I do? And I know, as we just stressed, we can give you some advice, but there's
Mhm.
something going on different in each one of us. That's why you
Right.
work one-on-one with us,
Exactly. That's
right?
exactly right.
That's why we want you to, get a hold of Jenny. If you're struggling in this respect and you're like, what? I don't even know what to do. I'm frustrated. They're throwing their
Mhm.
hands up in the air, and sometimes they just want to give up, and then they put on more weight, and then they get even more stressed.
Mhm.
Right? It's
Yeah.
this,
Or they restrict more.
yeah, never-ending cycle of them. So we're going to be trying to give you as much as we can today to, again, help you. How many times have people come to you that you do work with one-on-one that say, I'm so tired of hearing family and friends tell me that I have no willpower?
Mhm. I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot, and I hear the restriction thing, or I'm exercising a lot and I've cut my calories. I hear that a lot, and I hear I'm being told I don't have the willpower.
And then what do you say to them at that point? How do you
Well,
help
then
them
that's
along?
a mindset shift.
Okay.
That's a mindset shift for me. When someone says that to me, I'm like, okay, so now it's no longer being um, about the person not able to do it. It's about menopause changes the rules. That's what's happening. And this is the hardest thing for women to understand when they're going through this transition, is that the rules have changed.
This is interesting. Rose just said, some rude people used to tell me, just eat salad. I bit my lip. Some people don't get it. Yeah, that's interesting. There are a lot of people,
Yeah,
it's all this chatter that they think they know
yeah,
what they're talking about. They have
yeah,
no background in the industry
yeah,
whatsoever. And they
yeah,
say, just eat more lettuce, eat more vegetables. Literally,
yeah,
they're not even telling you to eat protein.
yeah.
I mean,
And it
bad
is.
advice.
It's definitely a balance of the three, and the types of those foods and the timing of those foods that come into play.
Yeah.
Not complicated.
Mhm.
It's so different for each person. I can say it on here, and then someone in the group is going to run out and do that, and then it's not going to work for them. It's
Yeah.
because it might not be the right fit for you.
Correct.
But there are three main things we want to make sure we're eating. That's protein,
Mhm.
good fiber, and good solid fats, that are healthy fats.
Okay.
Okay,
Again,
those should make up all three of the meals that you have in the day. And if you have a snack, that needs to be present in that snack as well.
what do you think are good snacks? And I know, as again, this is, look, at whether we're personal trainers or we're in the nutrition world, we all get asked the same question. And it's hard for me because I used to write programs for all of my clients from a nutrition
Yep,
standpoint. And I'm like, you're all not the same.
right.
But
That's exactly right.
can we kind of give them some ideas of some good snacks?
hmm So just Greek yogurt with chia seeds, a little bit of fruit on top. Now you got your fiber, you got your protein, and you got a more of a
Healthy fats.
complex fat. I mean, a complex carb, but a good fat in there. So the chia seeds are going to have protein, but they're also going to have a good source of fiber in them. And
Mhm.
then whatever berries you put on, they're a low glycemic fruit. And
Right.
that's super important to keep in mind, is because we don't want to be eating high glycemic fruits and vegetables, because that's going to have an impact on our blood sugar. Now, again, I want to caveat this because it depends if you're pairing it, what you're pairing it with, okay, on your plate.
Right.
Not complicated. Just saying, if someone chooses to eat a a higher glycemic, we'll say a potato, for example,
Mhm.
we need to make sure we're having a good solid protein with that, and a good fat. Now the fat can be actually what we've cooked in, right? Fat can take on a lot of different looks in this. It could be something that you're sprinkling over the top of the potato. It could be
Mhm.
maybe you cook the steak in with a little bit of ghee. What I'm trying to say is, all carbs are not created equal, but you don't eat them without dressing them. And
Correct.
that's why I tell my clients, don't eat a carb naked.
Right. Right.
Always make sure the carb has a protein and fat with it.
So Jenny's talking about pairing and timing, which
Mhm.
is imperative. Okay. Again, if you're just tuning in, good morning to you. Barbara, I see you. Char, I see you as well. Ask your questions, get them out during this hour. Okay. Jody said, I had a quadruple bypass. I've gained 28 pounds since. It was back in September. I was limited on what I could do, but now I just don't want to do anything. I need motivation.
Mm,
How do you
yeah.
motivate her?
Yeah. Well, that's one of those things that you reach out to me, we have a conversation about, because that's hard, especially when someone comes off of a
Surgery.
medical condition like that.
Mhm.
We tend to get into a non-motivational setting
Mhm.
with ourselves, and some are different. Some will be like, okay, I want to make sure I can jump in and start doing some things so that I feel better and that, like, I can keep this from happening to myself again. And then other people will go into sometimes a depression following a procedure like that.
Yeah.
So that, again, out of my scope of practice, but would be something that would be a good conversation to have with their physician if they are having those feelings of not having the motivation or the drive to do that. There could be some other deeper rooted things happening that they need to be getting some other help with.
But at the same time, so Jenny, obviously, as we mentioned, nutritional therapy practitioner, but just like I do, she has a team of experts that she works with. So if there's an orthopedic surgeon, there is your family practitioner, it's an OBGYN, and you name it, it is okay. For this, you need to go to this person, but we worked hand in hand. So they'll get you moving again. Maybe they tell you have to do physical therapy, but then they say you need to be eating right, right? So Jody, that's where it comes into play, where Jenny steps in and says, okay, hey, you know what? This is where it's going wrong. Maybe you get an accountability friend or a family member that says, let's
Mhm.
try to walk, or let's get on a bike, or let's go in the water and swim because that's a little bit easier on the joints. Again, without knowing what you're going through, I'm not going
Right,
to, write a prescription for this is what you do exercise wise,
right.
but she'll be able to help fuel the body. We'll give you the information again. There's a free assessment call. Again, if you don't have your phone out, you can't scan it, just email her. That's the easiest. Jenny at jgoptimalwellness.com. Again, follow her. I keep stressing this for great information at JG Optimal Wellness, and get into that menopause group that she has, Menopause Belly Secrets, on Facebook. She also does a ton of testing, and I'm going to take a quick break. Again, go ahead and load up the comment section. And we see you. Good morning. Thank you for the topic. You're welcome. And what are your questions? Everybody, let the questions roll. Again, don't just sit there and go, I hope somebody asked this question for me. Nope, it's got to be you. So what test does she do? And again, from a holistic standpoint, how can she help you? More with Jenny when we return.
What if you could start your day feeling loose, relaxed, and ready? Deep hydrotherapy right in your backyard. Relax with your family or friends, or work out with our Michael Phelps Edition Swim Spas. Worried about maintenance? We have factory-trained service nearby whenever you need it. Plus, we're here for you long-term if you have any questions or need to refill supplies. You can even test spas at our showrooms. Spas and More, A+ rated, locally owned for 20 years. We put the ah in spa.
And welcome back to the Real Monica Adams Show. Thrilled to have you along with us today. Again, it is a medical motivation Monday, menopause Monday, whatever you want to call it. And just glad that you're with us. And please do me a favor and share this like crazy, because your girlfriends, your guy friends can all benefit from this. Jenny Gabriel, again, my guest with JG Optimal Wellness. And Jody says, eating right is a challenge. I'm doing great health-wise. I just have no motivation. Thank you, ladies. A lot of it is just taking that first step, right?
Yeah, it is. And that's where the accountability part comes in. And this is also too where lifestyle comes in. There's so many like different lifestyle things too that we can add into what nutrition's already doing as well. But if movement motivation is a part of that, then that's accountability.
Right.
That's just needing someone to meet up with you. If you're talking about an exercise situation where you just want to, keep yourself engaged and being accountable to, say, getting that walk in every day or lifting weights, the 2 or 3 times a week that you're wanting to do it, join a fitness class. That's also Another way to keep yourself motivated, because it has accountability, because once you start having those relationships with people that are in that class, they're going to be asking if you're not showing up.
Yeah, sure.
So those are some options, as well. I do work in that area as well, just as an accountability partner. So there's things that I can do, even if I'm working with someone on nutrition or lifestyle. We talk about movement, because movement's a key part of that journey as well.
Absolutely. And you're so right on I don't care if you feel like I don't want to go to a gym, I don't feel like I belong at a gym. Okay, maybe go into a church group because they have some breakout classes that they do. There's communities everywhere, and never feel like you have to be forced into something that you say, I truly don't like this. This isn't what I want to do. That's why there's so much offered. So you can find what fits with you and what works, because that's what will stick. And that is all you need, is one step forward. And then it kind of, attaches, and you'll find that group that wants to be there with you. It's very, very true. Again, Jenny Gabriel, JG Optimal Wellness. Before we get into what changes in menopause, we talked about testing going into the break. Can you run through the test that you're able to do for everyone?
Well, I've got a nutritional, like a FIT test, which is a food sensitivity test. We test 176 foods, and we also look at the gut barrier at the same time. That just kind of looks at, like, do we have a little bit of leaky gut going on? Is that what's causing this food sensitivity? So we look at 176 foods, and they're rated, like a green, a yellow, or red, which obviously green means these are great ones. Yellow, red are probably ones that are not, are yellow would be ones that you would eat moderately. Red would be ones that you probably need to remove your diet. Again, I want to caveat that with saying this can change as well. Even though you do this test and it comes back with this, nothing's perfect in this world. And especially when it comes to testing, there's always a little bit of error. So I always tell clients, if they choose to go through with that test, it's probably something you want to test again later, not like soon. Just these are foods, especially if you're having a lot of digestive issues, you're having skin breakouts, joint issues. A lot of times it's going to be related to a food if you've done all the other things. HTMA, that's hair tissue mineral analysis, where we actually go in and we take the hair sample of the last 90 days, and it shows us what the cells have been doing in the body. It's the only test that does that outside of the A1C, which everybody's probably familiar with that. That's a hemoglobin test that kind of tells us what our blood sugar is doing over a 90-day period. This particular test looks at the minerals in the body and how our body is either lacking or maintaining those minerals. And those minerals will in turn have things to do with the inside of our body. Like, it could let us know, not diagnosing a problem, but saying, okay, we might have a little bit of a sluggish thyroid, or we have some digestion stuff that's kind of showing up in these markers. We'll also see stress. We'll also see nervous system regulation in these. We'll also see how someone is liver is responding. So it helps just know where a good starting point is with someone, especially if someone feels like they're lacking in minerals. Now, we all do, and not everybody has to take the to do that. To know that there's a couple different ways we can approach that, but HTMA is going to really dial in to where you're imbalanced at and tell us where we need to go to help with balancing those.
All right, everybody. Again, I'm looking at your comments coming in. I just bounced over to Instagram for all of you that are watching over there. If you've got a question, please let me know. Good morning, legendary Chelsea over on Instagram. Again, don't sit silent. I see some comments coming in, so we'll go to those. And as we're running through, we're talking once again about holistic weight loss and menopause and why dieting stops working. Again, it's not willpower. It's not because you're not trying hard enough. So we're talking about what changes. Your hormones shift, your metabolism is adapting, your stress response is changing, your nervous system sensitivity is increasing. So understand that. Like, this is the information that we're telling you that you can then go back to people and say, no, it's not a willpower. First of all, it's none of their business. So that's what I would tell you from a life coach, is just shut them out. Don't give them power over you, and you stay on your path and your journey. Let us help you through that. Let's see. Rose said, I eat low carb, high protein, good fats. At my Bible study book club groups, they always serve dessert and I don't have any. And some people want to know why. Why do they have to ask why? She just said, really? All right. Sugar and bad carbs will always be at functions. It's hard, but I try to eat good at least 6 out of 7 days. I have to eat for my inflammation. Okay.
Yeah.
That's one. And
Mhm.
since I struggle with getting enough protein in and sometimes getting
Mm,
enough calories in, what do you
mm,
suggest? Also,
mm,
holistic strategies.
mm, mhm. Yeah.
So, what do you
Yeah, and
suggest about getting protein in? She knows because she's been working with Ann.
yeah. Yeah, and I'll tell you, this is, like, one of the biggest struggles for women because they just feel like if they eat protein that they're gonna bulk up. That's one of the mindsets with this. Um,
Crazy.
Not the case. You're not gonna I mean,
No, it
most
feeds
women
your
should.
muscle tissue.
Yeah, yeah, it does, and a lot of other great, wonderful things in the body, but making sure you're getting that 25 to 30 grams in each meal, and I know at first this can be very, very challenging, especially if you're eating 10 grams at
Mm,
breakfast.
mhm.
That's like asking you to, hike Mount Everest right away without training for it. So my suggestion is just to slowly increment that up. So maybe the next time you have breakfast, let's add in a little bit more. Maybe you're eating yogurt and maybe you're just only eating half a cup. Okay. Now maybe we need to work on eating the whole cup. Okay.
Yeah.
Of yogurt. Just trying to gradually bring in those proteins throughout the day, throughout the meals. One of the things I tend to see with some women is this mindset, and it's a strategy, right? Unless you have a medical condition that requires you to do this, and some women do have medical conditions, and men, where they have to eat 6 times a day. That really messes with your blood sugar, unless, caveat again, you have a medical condition that's requiring you to eat in those increments. Typically, we want to eat about 4 times or 3 times a day, maybe with a snack in there, maybe an afternoon snack where we tend to see those afternoon crashes happen. Um, but making sure that each of those have good solid protein in them. Making sure we have that 25 to 30 grams. On average, a person should eat at least 1 gram of fat per body weight. Now that, if you're not used to eating that much, that can be a huge hill to climb. And so again, it's, say you're only getting 70 grams in, then what I want you to focus on for the next couple of weeks is getting 80 grams in. Okay, throughout your day. Okay, that means per day, not per week. That's per day.
Yep.
Okay.
That's such a
And
wake up
then,
call.
yeah, and slowly increment that in. And there's so many ways you can do that, but you have to start somewhere. Um, and start small. Like with breakfast, if you're eating 1 egg, let's go to 2 eggs. Okay. Just giving ideas at breakfast. Breakfast seems to be an easy one to just give an idea about right now because we're
Yeah,
talking
but
about
how
yoga.
many people, Jenny, just skip breakfast altogether? I hear a lot of
Oh yeah.
that from so many
Yeah.
people around me right now. They're like, no, no, no,
Yeah.
I don't do
Yeah.
breakfast. I just have some coffee. And I'm like, how do you even
Yeah.
have fuel in your brain?
But see, what we're doing is we're setting ourselves up, especially if you're in this transitional time frame, perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, for blood sugar imbalancing.
Yeah.
Okay. Instead of what our trajectory should look like throughout the day is our blood sugar should like ebb and flow like a tidal wave,
Mhm.
up and down, up and down. But instead, what I'm seeing is we're going way up high and then we crash way down low. And what we start to see with that is people that are having mid-afternoon crashes. They're irritable, they're moody, they're hangry. You'll see a lot of these kind of symptoms start to come on board when we're not when our blood sugar isn't our sugar handling is not balanced. Okay, and that's just because we're spiking and crashing throughout the day, which means we're not fueling correctly.
Yeah.
We're not getting enough protein and fiber and fats in. in our
So
meal.
great questions coming in, by the way, and I love this. This is what I ask, and sometimes it just takes a few months for you all to, oh, they're going to answer my questions. Yes, we are. We're interacting with you. Again, Medical Monday with Jenny Gabriel, JG Optimal Wellness. Right now, click that follow button on Instagram or Facebook. Go to her website, jgoptimalwellness.com. Let her help you besides these shows that we do together every other Monday. So, all right, let's get into Pamela. Welcome. Have I talked to you before? Pamela Schmitz, is it Eby? EBY. Pamela says this is not a question, it's an idea for a future show. I have, is it interstitial cystitis, or IC for short? It's affecting more and more women and some men. Symptoms are not all the same. No cure. A lot of people will have never heard of it. No, I need to look into this, but it can be debilitating. It might be a good subject to consider. Thanks. I love your show. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
Okay, so let's make sure we take a note of that. And I would love to address that on a future show.
Yeah.
If it's a medical standpoint, if it's a nutrition standpoint. Rose, Jenny, have you ever been overweight? I don't usually enjoy listening to people telling me how to lose weight when they are fit, but you know your stuff, dang it. Well, look, I've said this before. You've seen pictures that we have shown of Jenny, and I can tell where she had weight on her. You see pictures of me where I can tell I had weight on me. No, we've never been significantly overweight because this has been our life, but hormones absolutely affected us. Agree?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
How much weight?
Hormones and stress. Huh?
How much weight did you put on during?
Probably 35 to 40 pounds.
Yeah, for me, it was 25. Crazy, right? Crazy. I have always been fit. And it was, look, so we're saying we've been there with you. And you sit there and go, what is happening? And for me and for Jenny, we made sure that we went into the doctor, also looked at it from a holistic standpoint like we are today. And both of us have told you in the past, we went on to bioidentical hormones, still are. So you have to do what makes sense for you. And again, we don't know your health background. So again, this is my disclaimer. You got to check with your doctor to see what matters, what happens with you in your body, by the way. Linda said, and I make
and just remember on that too, when you're doing, if you go into hormones, you need to have the foundational support, a foundation built first. Like Monica and I both have nutrition, we have movement, we have lifestyle in place.
Yep.
Don't just jump to hormones and think it's going to fix it all, because that's not the case.
No, nor are the weight loss drugs. Look, so if you are getting onto Wegovy or Roe, and there's so many on the tirzepatide, it is not, hey, let's have you do this, and then you can eat whatever the heck you want. That's the mindset problem, and it has been, honestly. In our mother's years, our grandmother's years, everybody wanted that pill or an injection of, oh, we can do this, and then I can do whatever the heck I want to in life. No, you hopefully it's teaching you, yes, it will help you lose the weight. And if you have diabetes or you're insulin resistant, whatever's happening in the body, it's going to start teaching you, oh, my body feels better when I have the weight off of it. My body's functioning properly. I don't have inflammation. Again, she's talking about gut health. Let's do a couple more of these. So Linda said, and I make these awesome protein balls with peanut butter, oats, protein powder, and maple syrup, then dipped in dark chocolate. So good, but I limit them. There's a lot of calories in them. Great snack. Yes, it's not having overconsumption of them.
Yes.
I love protein balls.
I do too. They're great. Yeah. And that's a great idea. You just keep them in the fridge. But like you said, you're putting a boundary on it, because there can always be too good of a good thing. If you understand what I'm saying, like, we talk about all these good foods, but if you overeat the good foods, there's issues with that too.
Absolutely. Yes.
We got to balance that out.
Yeah. Just because you're eating healthy doesn't mean you should have like 5,000 calories. And then you're like, wait, I'm not exercising.
Right. It's like, avocados are great, so I'm going to go eat 6 of them. No, I'm not.
No, because there's calories in that.
Exactly.
Look, Jenny, all we had to do was manifest it and say, you have a question? And now they're all loading them up.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. I love these questions.
Let's see. Stephanie said, I eat oatmeal 3 times a week. I put chia seeds, flax seeds, turmeric, raisins, and walnuts and cinnamon. I make it. Is that good?
Yeah. Yep. Great job.
Look at you, Stephanie. Get a gold star from Jenny.
That's right.
You made the teacher happy.
That's really
Lisa
good.
Bradley, are you new to the show? She said, I'm 64 and postmenopausal. I eat a bowl of steel-cut oats with flaxseed and honey and a piece of sourdough toast each morning. Is this going to keep me from losing weight?
I mean, just from what you just told me, it's probably too high carb glycemic. Yeah.
Okay.
It's too high in carbs.
So oats, flax, honey, sourdough. What could she put in there? Because you talked about pairings of food and timing of food. So what could she put in to help her?
I would suggest putting in like a protein powder into that.
Oh, yeah.
But don't cook the protein powder in it. Just make the oats and then add the protein powder to it. That would help. Just with that particular meal, that would be my first go-to with that.
Okay.
Other than that, I would probably take the sourdough out, but you still need a protein in there. You don't really have a protein. I'm hearing a lot of the steel cut oats are great. They're high in fiber, but they're also very high in glycemic on the index. But that's that example I gave earlier. That's not a bad thing. It's just now we need to make sure we're putting in the protein in to balance that so it's not spiking the blood sugar and making it crash, because otherwise that's what's going to happen. That's just how our body responds with the glucose from that high glycemic meal. So I would definitely add a protein alongside that. Now, maybe you want to choose to do something like a couple eggs on the side with that. That's fine too. But I think I would probably remove the sourdough out.
It's interesting how many people, we just were at breakfast yesterday and my mom's like, ooh, sourdough is a better choice. So many people are talking about eating sourdough now. I think we need to do that on a future show as to when they are being offered bread.
I totally would agree with that, but not when you have that many carbs on the plate.
Right. Well, and it's also interesting because one of the things, Lisa, and everybody else that Jenny can help you with is why you're craving carbohydrates, why your mind wants to make that. That's actually, when I read that right away, my mind went to, ooh, if Jenny was working with you privately, she would say, do you know, this is why you wake up and why you want carb, and you're not asking for protein. Am I right on that? Yeah. So that's the testing, and that's the stuff that she can help you with. Okay, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to go through dieting, backfiring, the shift that happens, your metabolic stability. And we've got a question for you. Actually, I'll throw this into the questions as we go to the break, because we want to know which feels most true for you. Okay, and you can literally just type in a word: hormones, stress, energy crashes, or plateau. Okay, so which feels most true for you, your body individually? Hormones, stress, energy crashes, or plateau? Answer that for us. We'll get to that when we return.
Monica's show, it's very informational, but more importantly, inspirational.
People such as myself and others can come out and talk about real issues that are taking place in our communities.
These are amazing, really, really important topics that don't get discussed enough.
It really just promotes people who are making change and doing good in their lives.
Welcome back to the Real Monica Adams Show. I cannot wait to go here. I'm going to invite Jenny and all of you to join us on March 25th at 9 a.m. So look at all the adorable things they have for kids. Gorgeous, gorgeous flowers. Literally, you're going to get lost in the store because they have jewelry. They have some of the most beautiful robes. I told my mom that's what I want for my birthday. They have some of the most gorgeous robes. There's all the jewelry, by the way. And that case right there, that drew me in. They have brackish jewelry. If you're familiar with brackish, you're going to fall in love with it. I also saw that belt that was right there and said, wait a minute. I didn't know brackish had belts. That's what I bought Jim for Valentine's Day. Angela is the owner, and she's going to come on the show with us and tell us about her backstory. By the way, right there, do you see those gorgeous trees? They're heavy, by the way, these glass trees. They are from Simon Pierce. And that was Jim said, that is your Valentine's and your birthday gift, by the way, Monica. So yes, this is just a view for you. There's the robe I want. Imagine that, the animal print. Flowers, Mary Tuttle's, Amelia's affiliated with it as well. So Mary Tuttle's located on Baxter Road in Chesterfield. There's the address, 17021 Baxter Road. Cannot wait to be there with you on March 25th at 9 a.m. It is going to be a blast. Shopping, me and you, Jenny, together, dangerous.
I know, it's bad. Jim knows that too.
Have you ever been there, by the way?
I have not. I just wrote it down. I've not been there.
Oh, no. There are so many people that as soon as they walked in, they were like, Oh my gosh, the store is unbelievable. So if you like Christopher's in Kirkwood, you
Oh
will
yeah,
fall in
love
love
it.
with Mary Tuttle's in Chesterfield. So yes, that's as soon as you walk in the door,
Very
it's
cool.
just amazing, absolutely beautiful. So Angela, cannot wait to be there, but more importantly, can't wait to hear about how your mom started this whole thing and then she took it from there. And from a flower standpoint, by the way, if you need flowers, that's a good place for you to go. All right, welcome back to the show. This is my guest, Jenny Gabriel, JG Optimal Wellness. We're talking about your health. Okay, we went into the break and we asked you the question, what feels most like you, right? Most true for you, hormones or stress or energy crashes or plateau? And the answers coming in, Jenny, are
Mhm.
stress. Oh, hormones, stress. Okay, yes,
Mhm.
Carla, definitely a lovely shot. Please be there. So stress, we hear that a lot. Would you have said that you probably figured that most people would say stress?
I was going to say that or hormones, one of the two,
Okay,
because they actually all four of those go together
yeah,
to some degree.
right.
Um, but with the whole deal with stress, stress isn't just emotional; it's chemical,
Hmm.
and that's where we don't understand. We don't understand that it can be a chemical thing. And when I say chemical, when cortisol stays elevated chemically, right? It's in our body, it's part of the process in our body, it's our stress hormone. Blood sugar starts to shift. And when we stay in a chronically high stressed state, nervous system dysregulation at the same time, that's going to cause cortisol levels to rise.
Hmm.
That's going to affect how we handle sugar in the body, but it's also going to affect how our body stores our energy too. Okay. And so the body can store it very much differently. Okay. It can store it as fat, it can store it as in the liver, like the glycogen in the liver, in the muscles, or just the glucose that we take into the cell when we eat something that's higher carb, glycemic, something a fast energy rush. But what we don't put into this whole picture is the cortisol piece.
Right. And I mean, imagine the amount of stress that you have in your life and what's happening in the world, what's happening in your personal life, what's happening in your professional life. Stress all around you. Then you mix in the problem with hormones, with perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, and it just feels out of control. Are we being honest here? You feel like your life is out of control and you're just trying to grab the steering wheel and try to steer that car straight. Every single day, it sounds exhausting. And, we're the amount of stress that's on you, you need a break. We hear you, right? I said, we see you, we see the questions coming in, we hear you. And we are, every time we are on together and every time Jenny's working with you, it is to try to eliminate the stress or at least lessen the stress, right? Stress is always going to be around there. It's just how we react to it. So we're trying to find the safe place, Jenny, is where can we live? Where can we maintain the life that we want?
Well, and I think what we need to keep in mind is that stress management isn't optional when you're going through the transition. It's not optional. So making that a priority is going to be important
Mhm.
as they're going through this process. We've talked a lot of times in here about lifestyle things that they can do to help with that and managing it. Just going for a walk, getting some me time, getting a massage, going to the spa, get your nails done, just getting some time. And when you go to those places, not worrying about taking your phone inside, like
Oh, yeah.
leaving it in the car, because that's
I
like
need
a
to do that one.
it's a huge stressor. And I think that's why we see stress levels even higher. Okay, so we got the sandwich generation taking care of failing parents. You're going through this right now.
Yep.
And then, raising kids maybe still at the same time. That's the sandwich part
And
of it.
raising fur babies.
Yeah, and raising fur babies. On top of that, they can be stressful. I mean, we just
Yeah.
spent last 6 weeks with Brinley with a scratched cornea
Yeah.
and trying to heal it. And it was stressful. It was
Yep.
very stressful. She was in a cone for 14
Yep.
days
Yep.
at
I'm
the
serious.
end. So,
When I said that earlier, I meant it. It's like literally
yeah.
sometimes stress is so a part of your life that you actually forget about the parts that are stressful because you've become so immune to it.
Yeah. Well, and it just becomes a nervous system dysregulation
Yep.
part of it.
Yep. Which we
That's where
Yep.
we're stuck in that fight or flight, maybe
Yep.
even the freeze part of it,
Yep.
where we just can't move from it. So again, this is not optional. And when you go through menopause, it's just not optional. We've got to really make a priority of managing stress. And there's so many things that I help women with that are little lifestyle things that they can put into play every day to kind of change, get yourself out of that fight or flight that you're going through during the day, because that it's gonna cause the cortisol levels. And I know you asked, okay, how do you get there? Well, there's many pieces to the puzzle of getting there.
Yeah.
We've got to work stress management. We've also got to work on making sure we're nutritionally fueling our bodies too, so that we're not adding that stress into it.
Yeah.
So just making sure, again, we've got that plate in three, complete in three meal with the protein and the fiber and the fat in there. And then just making sure we're getting, adequate sleep. That usually is affected by this too. We'll see that happen too. So those are all things that we, have to work on, and we just work on one at a time. If we can work on two at a time, great. But if it's overwhelming, then we just work on one at a time.
I just got a text that said, can you talk about sleep? That's so funny. That was eerie.
Yeah.
So you mentioned caregiving. You mentioned people that are in the sandwich generation that are caregiving for their elderly parents, but may still be raising kids. I can guarantee you're not getting sleep. My mom, with what she's been going through, has been getting up about every 2 hours. Jim gave me a kiss on the head last night as he was going to bed, and he's like, I hope you get some sleep tonight. And I said, and if I don't, it's fine. And I'm here for mom. And yes, I'm trying to catch up on it. I was so exhausted yesterday, Jenny. Literally, my eyeballs hurt. I was so tired. But today I feel energized. I don't know. I don't know where it came from, because I'm still not catching up on sleep, but I am exercising. I am eating properly. I am drinking my water. So I'm doing the things that need to help me. But I want you all to hear that. If you're not sleeping properly and then you are eating horrible, you're not hydrating yourself, you're not exercising, oh my gosh, you are mounting so many things on you. So you're just working against yourself. Stephanie, you are so welcome. I'm glad that you're learning. Plateau, I wish, Rose says. This is the thing. For those of you that feel I didn't ask my question, then I want you to reach out to Jenny so that you are able to work with her directly. Get into that Menopause Belly Secrets page on Facebook. Go to Jenny at jgoptimalwellness.com. Shoot her a message and say, I was a little scared to make this comment. I don't know why, but this is I've been sitting in silence and I have so much that I want help with. We get it. Again, it's not a cookie cutter approach to anything. She's going to work individual with you. And the last thing we're going to leave you with is this, and I hope this helps your mind. Your body is not broken. It just needs support from the right people in your life. And Jenny is that person. I would not have Jenny on my show if I didn't believe in her. And I hope you all understand that, because you trust me every morning. In fact, I said it at the beginning, but for those of you that tuned in late, we are celebrating our 3rd anniversary. This is year 3 since we launched this, and it started like this, me and you. In fact, you would load us up. It was so amazing, Jenny. In the beginning, I would ask everybody, just kind of like we do right now with the comments, what do you want us to talk about? What do you want me to cover tomorrow? And I was like, I had my journal here and I was writing, and you just loaded the topics up. I want you to go back to that, whether it's topics with me and Jenny, or it's topics when I'm doing Wellness Wednesday solo, or fitness related things, you name it, something with animals. What do you want to hear on this show? Because Jenny and I want to deliver for you, right? So we're here for you. So Jenny, thank you. This was a really powerful show. And the greatest thing you all can do, share this. Again, don't keep this to yourself. Share this with your friends and family that are struggling as well. Make sure that you're clicking the follow button on my page, The Real Monica Adams, all the platforms, The Real Monica Adams, on Jenny's pages. Again, she's very interactive on Instagram and Facebook. Are you on TikTok also?
No.
Yeah, I'm not yet, but that's something that we definitely, I'm on there, but I haven't been very active on there. So we'll start dropping things in there for you as well. But follow her at JG Optimal Wellness. Jody, you're welcome. Hope you have a great day as well. Lisa, you're so very welcome. Thank you for the anniversary wish. Have a blessed day to you as well. Jenny, thank you so much. Such a plethora of information. Jenny will be back on with us in a couple of weeks. In fact, the idea that we have is to show you how what she does works from a testimonial standpoint. So I'm going to be talking with Jenny of, let's pick some people that are willing to come on maybe in a roundtable discussion and say, when I first met Jenny, I was here and now I'm here. So I haven't even told Jenny that. So surprise, that is what I want to do. I want to do a roundtable with some people that you've worked with over the years, and we'll do that together. Carla Miller, you're so welcome. Have a great day. Goodness gracious, there's so many names I don't remember talking to. So please do more of this. Let's meet you right here. And we are together every other Monday. So remember that. All right, Jenny, have a wonderful one. We are going to take our final break. We've got our devotional, and I'm going to tell you all about our business spotlight that we're going to be doing with Divine Longevity and Wellness. I need to introduce you two, by the way. Jenny and Dr. Arshadi need to meet each other. So we'll do that when we return.
The world needs to be more positive. Yep. You know, the world, and I'm spreading positivity with my air fresheners. So,
you and I both,
yes.
Sir. Sadly, I wasn't aware of the Monica Adams show until recently. And was I missing out?
I'm definitely going to turn this on in the mornings on our TV.
She's helping people to understand their value. She's helping women to transform their lives.
From the minute that we walked in, I felt just really comfortable and at home here.
You are always a ray of sunshine and positivity.
Thank you for what you do. I love this whole thing that you're doing.
It's good news. It's great news. It's uplifting and empowering.
But you were engaged, and I love that. So thank you so much.
And welcome back to the show. Again, that's where you find us. And do me a favor and please click on the subscribe button on YouTube, because that is where the entire last 3 years of our library of shows are. You know, Meta gets rid of things after 30 days. So all of you that are maybe brand new to the show, 760 plus shows that we've done over the last 3 years, you will get a lot of inspiration, and they are all there on YouTube. So whether you watch me on Facebook or Instagram or X or Rumble, please also subscribe. And again, it doesn't cost. Just click subscribe so you get notified when we go live, and you can go back and look. We've got a bunch of playlists for you of Medical Mondays, Motivation, Wellness Wednesdays, Positive Talk Time, Wellness, as well as Wet Your Whistle Wednesdays, Foodie Fridays, all of that for you. We love taking the show on the road, by the way, and doing mobile Monicas. And then we also do these really amazing business spotlights, like we're going to do with Divine Longevity and Wellness. Dr. John Arshadi is going to be coming on with us, and then we're going to be going there. So the reason I want to introduce Jenny and Dr. Arshadi is he is very well known for hormone replacement therapy and weight loss. Those are the two biggest things that he said that he does in Chesterfield. As well, I can't wait to show you this bike. Okay, so red light therapy is all the rage, right? Everybody loves it. This is a bike, and he is the only one in our area, or even in a probably 2-3 hour radius, he said. He doesn't even know where someone else might have one of these. This is an infrared bike. You bike for 40 minutes. You're in like a swimsuit, or maybe guys might be in a swimsuit with no shirt on. Women might be in like a bra and underwear, or they're in a swimsuit because you want to have as least amount on as possible. You're on that and you're biking along. I can't not wait to experience this. And then again, a lot of people also like to do that full body, what's going on with my body. So Jenny and I are talking about getting nutrition in order. There's also the full body scans that people are wanting done as well. He can do that for you. So again, it's Divine Longevity and Wellness, bringing hyper-personalization to the St. Louis area, located in Chesterfield in the Four Seasons Shopping Center. Cannot wait to tell his story. He'll be in studio with us, by the way, on the 16th, and then we'll be having that business spotlight on him a little bit later on in the month. Funny that I was talking about Divine. I didn't even mean to do this, but I picked up Divine Inspirations. This is from our dear friend, Marietta Divine. And so it's just this simple. I'm not going to read a big devotional. I'm just going to pull a card, and it's going to be what God wants us to hear today. Okay? That's this one. Divine Inspirations. In this moment, his angels surround me. I do not sleep alone. I am covered. I'm protected, and I'm loved. Right there. It's that simple. He's all around us. Let go and let God, and then let Jenny help you. Let go, let God, let Jenny. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, cannot wait to introduce you to our brand new sponsor, Bridget Berry Childress. Okay, I'm going to tell you about her in just a little bit. She's been a nurse for a long time, but she felt the entrepreneurial spirit and she decided to open up her own business a year ago this month. Bridget Childress Legal Nurse Consulting, expert legal nurse consulting services. So they uncover medical insights for successful case outcomes. And we're going to tell you how you can get a free consultation. So medical case reviews, concise attorney-ready medical reports, support for both the plaintiff and the defense, and experience across medical legal case types. She is an RN, a legal nurse consultant with over 21 years in the operating room, and has been helping attorneys bring clarity to complex medical cases. So tomorrow, I'm going to get a chance to introduce you to her passion, and she is going to be the sponsor of Testament Tuesday. We're big time bringing faith into the show because I got to give all the glory to the man above for everything that's happening in not just this show, but our brand as a whole. I have so many exciting things to tell you that are coming up, and just stick with us. Buckle up because it's quite a ride. Thank you all so much. Christy, thank you. I appreciate it. And to all of you, God bless you all. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay dry, stay warm, and be kind. We'll see you in the morning.